It was supposed to be a trip to paradise for a group of high school graduates. But one of them never came home.
I knew instantly that something terrible had happened.
Now it's one of the most famous mysteries in the world. The disappearance of Natalee Holloway.
You have the evidence against them?
There have been hundreds of leads, 3 prominent arrests, and even a questionable confession.
I'm telling you, honestly, I know what happened to that girl.
And yet to date, no one has been charged.
People pour their hearts out, don't they?
Tonight, we talk to those closest to the case. A mother.
Time and time again, hope always defeated hopelessness.
A prosecutor.
Believe that she's dead. You are concentrating on wanting to search out there.
That's correct.
An underwater crime scene investigator, and a never-before-interviewed Aruban investigator to try and put the pieces of the puzzle together and understand what happened to this case and to Natalee Holloway.
Aruba is not much larger than Washington, D.C., once known only to beach bums and scuba divers. Now it's very popular with tourists because of the sun and the trade winds. But in 2005, it was thrust into the international media spotlight when Natalee Holloway disappeared from its shores. For nearly 3 years, it seems the whole world was watching what was going on here with no resolution. What went wrong here? What went wrong with the investigation? Will Natalee Holloway ever have justice? Or for that matter, will a woman who lives 1,500 miles away in Alabama ever have justice?
Rituals of teenage years.
Senior dance picture.
In May of 2005, Natalee Holloway was a senior at Mountain Brook High School, a straight-A student who made her mother, Beth, very proud.
I think Natalee knew how to balance her life. She knew how to have a healthy balance between academics, between friends, between extracurricular activities. She'd received several scholarships from the University of Alabama. They were equivalent of a full ride.
On May 20th, the 18-year-old graduated with honors, excited about her upcoming plans.
Graduation day was busy, of course, all the relatives coming in. Very exciting time. You know, we knew just around the corner was our trip, this long-awaited graduation adventure to Aruba.
Natalee and 124 classmates would enjoy their first taste of freedom, spending 5 days under the Caribbean sun. Just 6 days after graduation, Natalee was packed and ready to go.
The last time I saw Natalee was early in the morning. It was about 4 a.m.
Beth took her daughter to a friend's house and said goodbye.
Final words, have a great time. You deserve it, and you worked really hard, and I'm proud of you, and have a wonderful time.
This is your reward.
Yeah. What we were thinking coming into this was that it seems almost so safe, as that, what could go wrong on just a small island?
And so it began, a ritual of spring. But this time, things would end differently. What happened next has filled internet websites, hours of television programs, and a room full of police files. Natalee Holloway vanished, and the investigation into her disappearance went haywire. The examination of how it went wrong starts with the crucial hours leading up to her disappearance. It was Natalee's last night in paradise, and along with friends, she would end up at a popular bar in the city center, about 5 miles from her hotel.
We're standing in front of Carlos and Charlie's, the last place Natalee was seen leaving from, and that was on May the 30th, 2005. Looks like they've closed down now and places for rent.
Art Wood is a former Secret Service agent.
He's a really nice guy.
For more than 2 years, he's been conducting his own investigation.
All I ever wanted to accomplish was help Dave Holloway find his daughter, and that's it.
Could you give me an account of the day leading up to her disappearance?
The kids were out there partying. They were drinking. They were having a good time. Some of them wanted to go to the casino. Natalee was one of the ones that went to the casino.
At the blackjack table, the Alabama teens met a young man named Yoren. According to Natalee's friends, he said he was 19 and visiting from Holland.
He came from the poker room, sat down, and he told them he would help them try to win their money back.
The high school graduates took full advantage of Aruba's 18-year-old drinking and gambling age.
I interviewed the pit boss for that blackjack table, and he told me that Natalee and her friends were all drinking.
Just after 10 p.m., the Alabama girls left the casino, but not before inviting Yoren to join them at their next stop.
When they left, Yoren called his friends. He called Deepak and Satish and invited them to Carlos and Charlie's.
Deepak and Satish Kalpoe, brothers originally from Suriname, now living on Aruba. About an hour before closing time, Yoren and the Kalpoe brothers showed up at the bar. Inside, the Alabama grads were celebrating their last night in paradise, drinking and dancing, as was Natalee Holloway.
We know that he bought her a drink, a Bacardi 151. So I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that Natalee wasn't impaired. I believe that all of them were.
At 1 a.m., the DJ shouted, "Last call," and the American teens poured into the streets, some heading to the next bar, some taking taxis back to their hotel. But Natalee Holloway left with Yoren and the Kalpoe brothers.
He seemed like a nice guy. He's the son of a judge. He's tall, he's handsome, he's Dutch. Hindsight is always 20/20. I'm sure she was impaired enough to make a poor decision to get in a car with these three locals.
Friends said they spotted the four taking off in Deepak's silver Honda. The Kalpoes in the front, Natalee and Yoren together in the back.
But there are some of her friends who say who's tried to stop her.
That's correct. She told him to leave her alone, that she was going home, they were going to drop her off at the hotel.
These are the facts that witnesses from the bar, some of the last people to see Natalee, agree on. She'd been drinking.